Welcome back, Level 1 NCEA physicist and Earth space scientist. Continuing on with the human changes in our Earth system internal for Level 1 physics. Today we're going to look at the hydrosphere. So what is the hydrosphere? The hydrosphere basically includes all the water on Earth. So that's the oceans, the lakes, the rivers, the glaciers, and also that groundwater underneath us. So water exists in different forms, so solid, ice, which is going to be in your poles, the Arctic and Antarctic, liquid water, which is going to be your rivers, lakes, oceans, and also gas, which is water vapor. So that's kind of the interaction with the atmosphere with rain clouds, for example. Yeah, so the hydrosphere interacts with the atmosphere, the geosphere, and the biosphere to support life on Earth. So in terms of looking at natural and human-induced changes in the hydrosphere, in terms of natural changes, we have climate patterns like El Nino and La Nina. So at the moment we're going through a La Nina phase here in Aotearoa, New Zealand, okay, which means we have wetter summers and drier winters. And of course in the La Nina, the El Nino, that swaps around. We have glacial melting, especially down south, and sea level changes because of this globally. And we've got ideas around natural disasters like tsunamis and hurricanes. So in terms of the human-induced changes of the hydrosphere, we have pollution, so plastic pollution is a big one. Okay, chemicals and oil spills which can occur and pollute the hydrosphere. We have deforestation, which links to the biosphere, affecting water cycles. Climate change, increasing ocean temperatures and leading to acidification of the oceans, and the overuse of our fresh water resources, okay, which are about 3% of the global water. So in terms of the connections with other Earth systems, which I briefly touched in the last slide, so in terms of the atmosphere, we're looking at water evaporating forms clouds, okay, so clouds are kind of an interaction between the atmosphere and the hydrosphere in terms of water, just in different forms, and then that falls back as rain, so that's a key component of the water cycle. Geosphere, rivers cause the erosion of rock, and groundwater also shapes our landscapes, so through underground caving. The biosphere, water sustains plants, us as animals, which are human. Okay, so we need water to live, basically, fresh water in particular for us humans. And again, the focus on the carbon cycle, so oceans absorb carbon dioxide, marine plants then use that carbon dioxide for photosynthesis. The dead organisms like whales and even kelp and algae fall to the bottom of oceans and rivers, and therefore carbon is stored in ocean sediments. And focusing on human impact, the more carbon dioxide there is in the atmosphere, this leads to the dissolving of carbon dioxide in the water, forming carbonic acid, which leads to ocean acidification, and obviously you cannot live in an acid, so that affects marine life. For example, those marine life that have shells, they will basically dissolve in acidic water. And thinking about corals, again, they will die for similar reasons. Okay, they can't live in low pH environments. So why this matters, why it's important to protect the hydrosphere. Okay, so understanding about the hydrosphere, which we've done in this presentation, helps us predict changes and protect our water resources, both seawater and freshwater resources. And again, combining the scientific knowledge and indigenous wisdom leads to better environmental decisions, not just focusing on the science. And an example of that, at least in the local area, in Te Waipunama, the South Island, is Ngaitahu's restoration of Lake Ellesmere, okay, through the use of traditional wetland management. So that's kind of a link between science and indigenous knowledge, so powerful together. So things that you can do, those small little changes with big effects, reduce your water waste, okay, because fresh water is not exactly abundant on Earth. It's about 3% of the whole total. Avoid single-use plastics to reduce that plastic pollution in the ocean, and support conservation efforts in your community to protect our oceans, especially in the Marlborough Sounds, of course, because we've got giant kinnibarrens because of increased temperature and the loss of the diversity in our ecosystems in our local environment.